The power of absence. What happens when you pull back? In the emotional chess game of modern dating, many men are taught to believe that more presence equals more value. More texts, more compliments, more availability. But here's a hard truth. A woman's true feelings are not revealed by how she reacts to your presence, but how she responds to your absence. If your presence was valuable, your absence will echo. If not, your disappearance will barely register. This psychological principle is often misunderstood by men, leading to cycles of over-pursuing and emotional self-sabotage. But when you understand what a woman actually experiences during your absence, you regain control, clarity, confidence, and composure, and re-establish the dynamic on your terms. 7 emotional shifts when you're not around. Let's break down the 7 key emotional shifts a woman experiences when you're not around, and how each one reveals her true investment in you. 1. She questions your value. When you pull back, the emotional spotlight suddenly shifts. She's left alone with her thoughts, and one pivotal question: was he actually worth my time? If your presence brought depth, leadership, certainty, excitement, emotional steadiness, your absence leaves a void. But if you were always too available, constantly validating her, or placing her on a pedestal, your disappearance may feel more like a relief than a loss. Absence doesn't make the heart grow fonder. It reveals what was already there. 2. Her ego takes the first hit. Ego bruise. Most women are accustomed to men chasing, complimenting, and checking in. When that loop is broken, it causes an emotional glitch. Testing the waters. Instead of reaching out directly, she might test the waters. Liking your old posts, viewing your stories, showing up dressed differently, mentioning you in passing. Genuine emotion. This is ego-driven. She doesn't miss you yet, she misses the validation. If you resist the urge to react, the ego bruise deepens. And that's when genuine emotion may start to surface. Let's be clear. The first part of her that notices your absence is not her heart. It's her ego. At first, she rationalizes it. He must be busy. But as the silence stretches, uncertainty grows. 3. She feels a shift in power. By default, women hold more power in the early stages of dating. Why? Because most men give it away, through overcommunication, people-pleasing, and fear of loss. But when you step back without explanation, something rare happens. She starts to feel uncertain. That uncertainty is powerful. She may begin to wonder, why isn't he chasing me like the others? Did I misread his interest? Am I losing him? 4. Her attraction intensifies. Distance creates desire. When you become less accessible, she starts romanticizing your presence. Not because you changed, but because you're no longer predictable. Mystery fuels attraction. Certainty kills attraction. Mystery fuels it. The less she knows about where she stands with you, the more her mind starts to fill in the blanks, often with idealized versions of you. Value is key. This isn't manipulation, it's basic psychology. We crave what feels emotionally uncertain and hard to replace. But this only happens if you were truly valuable to begin with. If not, distance doesn't intensify her attraction, it just confirms you were disposable. 5. She starts testing you. Once your absence affects her emotionally, she'll instinctively begin to test your frame. These are not always conscious decisions, they're emotional defense mechanisms meant to gauge if she still has influence over you. Common tests include sending a vague, "Hey, hope you're doing well," text. Posting attention-seeking content. Asking mutual friends about you. Flirting with others in your presence. Most men fail here. They assume a test is a signal of renewed interest and dive back in eagerly. Big mistake. Every time you reward a test with validation, you reinforce her control. A grounded man recognizes these tests but responds with calm indifference. He doesn't chase. He doesn't re-explain. He lets her come closer, if she values him enough to do so on his terms. 6. She considers her options. Let's be brutally honest. If your absence doesn't create an emotional reaction, she'll start looking elsewhere, fast. Women are rarely without options. So if you were replaceable in her mind, she won't hesitate to entertain new attention. But here's the good news. That's a gift. If she moves on without resistance, you just received clarity. You now know exactly where you stood. She wasn't emotionally invested, she was conveniently entertained. Never chase a woman who was quick to replace you. Her disinterest is not your failure. It's your freedom. 7. She submits, or she moves on. Eventually, every woman reaches a crossroads. After the silence, the tests, the emotional swirl, she'll either come back with genuine respect and a softer energy, or walk away entirely. There is no in-between. If she returns, you must maintain your frame. Do not slip back into old patterns. Let her re-earn your presence through consistency, effort, and emotional investment. Your energy is now a privilege, not a baseline expectation. If she leaves without looking back, you just dodged emotional dead weight. Never beg for a woman who couldn't see your worth until you disappeared. You're not an option. You're the standard. Final thoughts. Your absence reveals her truth. A woman's reaction to your absence tells you everything you need to know. Her level of emotional investment. Her respect for your masculine frame. And whether your presence was a luxury or just another comfort. Most men chase too soon. Explain too much. Fear rejection like death. But the strongest men, men of substance, use silence as a filter. Not out of manipulation, but out of self-respect. If your absence doesn't make her miss you, your presence never really mattered. So step back. Not to hurt her, not to play games, but to see clearly. Let her reaction reveal her truth. And remember, a man who knows his worth never begs to be chosen. Join the conversation. Drop a comment. Small diamond, have you ever pulled back and seen a woman reveal her true colors? Small diamond, did she come back stronger, or disappear completely? Let's talk about it. This is a conversation men need to have. For deeper training on masculine self-worth, emotional control, and relationship dynamics, join the Man of Substance Podia community, where clarity meets confidence. Stay grounded. Stay focused. Protect your power.